Light. Without light, there would be no photography. It's the light and the shade that creates the shape and the form, which allows the photographer to capture on film the perfect image. Elinchrom has been producing light for photographers now for more than 30 years. And today, we have a range of product and accessories that allows the photographer to capture exactly the right images. Today, we're at the studio of Joe Craig, one of America's leading photographers. And together, we're going to look at the accessories and how they're used in the studio. We're going to take you through the whole range of Elinchrom accessories, and Joe will show us how each one can be used to produce different results.
As a professional photographer, light is everything. Let's talk about light. The whole seminar today, I want to talk about light. How do we create the perfect light for each and every subject? Now, we're standing in a wonderful natural light studio right now, and it's going to give us the same advantages that we experience outdoors. In other words, the background, the foreground, the midground, everything is illuminated. Same with this studio here, where we have 5 windows in a row. But what are we going to do when we go into the portrait studio when we're using flash? Are we going to give up something? Actually, we're going to gain a whole lot, because now we're not just working from the lighting coming from one side. We can move it to the other. We can create different depths. Also, we can change the lighting accessories so that we can have a very soft light, or we can go in with a hard spotlight. We're going to be able to create not only this soft natural light here, but also we'll be able to have the spotlight effects. But just think about it for just a moment as we look at this. We have a key light, we have kick lights. On down here we have fill lights. And just look at the natural illumination. Wendy, can I turn you this way? Just a moment. Yes, right into there. Now watch this. We have the kick light coming in. We have a main light source coming down here, fill coming across, bouncing off. We're going to be able to recreate all of that and a whole lot more with flash. But right now, Wendy, I want you to look up here with a little more sparkle, right into there. You got it right there.
The light from the window looks natural because the window is a large light source. And the way to make your flash units into a larger light source is by adding an umbrella. We do 3 different materials of umbrellas. We do the translucent, which you can shoot through or you can bounce. We do the reflecting surface, the white reflecting umbrella, and we do the silver. Joe, how can I use these umbrellas most effectively in the studio?
Now what I've selected here is to use 2 umbrellas, once again stacked, just like the windows, with a reflector off to the left side. Now for the key light, or the main light source, I'm going to use the translucent umbrella because it's more versatile. In this case, I'm putting a reflector behind, or in your studio or in your office, home, whatever, if there's a white wall, the light that goes through is just as important as the light that's bouncing off. Another versatile feature here is we're going to be able to take this umbrella and shoot the light through, creating even a softer illumination. Now let's look at it for just a moment. If we pull it forward, we're going to have a very soft light. But if we want to increase the contrast, we're simply going to move it back, and that way creating specularity, or that kick light, if you will. As we look at umbrellas, there are literally thousands of different concepts we could come up, but let's look at just a few. Black background, black dress, silver umbrella, white umbrella fill. Let's see what we can do with that. Very simple. 2 reflectors, 2 umbrellas, and we're going to create an absolutely perfect low-key portrait. Now, you notice that we're feathering this light back slightly. We're bringing it across. We're getting a kick light and a main light out of the same umbrella. Now, if we want to flatten it out, we can bring it around here, but why don't we bring it back, get 2 out of 1. Isn't this exciting? Simple umbrellas, great portraits.
The umbrella gives us a simple soft light, but the photographer also needs a spotlight effect. And one of the simplest and most efficient ways of getting that is with a honeycomb grid. First, we take the unit and we fit a reflector. That takes the light and it focuses it forwards. To that, we fit the accessory holder, which is also the basis for our barn doors and the colour gels. And that just clips on the front. And into that, we place the honeycomb itself. As you can see, it's a lot of little small holes. And when I point it forwards, the light passes forwards. But the light travelling off at an angle, as you see, is blocked. So we slide that inside, and you can see from there the effect of the 32-degree spot. We also have a 16-degree spot, which is a little narrower, and for a very fine spot effect, we have the 8-degree. As you can see, we have a honeycomb grill for the hair light, and for something else, we take our honeycomb grill and a coloured gel, put the two together, and create yet another special effect.
Hard light, soft light, working together for portrait excellence. Let's think about the illumination of the set to this point. We started off with one umbrella, then added a second, added the honeycomb grid with the blue gel, and then came in and separated the hair with the fourth light, another honeycomb grid. What we're trying to do is create excellence in photography. Certainly we can do it with one light and reflector, but at this point we have 4 lights, and look how much better we are. As we look at the scene with just the fill light, we realize that we have a base illumination, but we really do not have shape and dimension. As we add the blue gel light, we're going to get a little bit of that third dimension because we're going to separate the subject from the black background. In other words, the black from the black. But look at the impact of the key light. Really bringing that shape in, sculpting that face. And then, when we bring in the hair light, look at that dimension come in. Not only bringing separation, but also roundness. Once again, creating portrait excellence. Let's see what it looks like on film. Melissa, if you'll turn this way just a little bit, chin up, right there, perfect, perfect, perfect. You got it right there, good.
A vital accessory in any studio is the softbox. Like our umbrella or the window light that we started with, they make the light source bigger and therefore softer. Elinchrom produced 2 sizes of softbox, the 70 centimetre and twice the surface area, the 1 metre square. Both the softboxes work in exactly the same way. The head fits directly into the back, and inside a secondary diffuser helps diffuse the light so that by the time it reaches the front surface, the illumination is even from centre to corner, and we have a controllability and softness. The Square 44 is like a combination of the softbox and the honeycomb grids that we've already looked at. Let's take it apart and show you what it does. In its basic form, the Square 44 is a white-painted, wide-angle reflector. It has about 100-degree coverage and is perfectly even over that size. Adding the diffusion material gives us a softness to the light. It takes away some of the central specularity. Finally, the honeycomb grid works in exactly the same way as the smaller honeycomb grids. The light that is passing forwards carries on passing forwards, and the light that's going off to the sides is stopped. This gives us a soft, controllable pool of light. The Square 44 and the Elinchrom softboxes. Together, they're a vital accessory for today's studio.
It's truly hard to imagine my portrait studio without the advantage of softboxes. Control. The artist must be in control, not only of the illumination on the subject, but the illumination of the entire set. We have a lot of depth here. How are we going to create dimension, shape, form? How are we going to create separation on her hair? Let's look at each and every light, and let's ask the question, why? Why do we as artists need to be that much in control? As we review the set, let us think for just a moment, how do we go about assembling a set? We're going to create a lot of depth and dimension. We're 13 feet from the back wall to the subject. So first we set the columns in, the draping, and we came up with what we felt gave the artistic feel that we wanted. Then it becomes our responsibility as artists to choose the proper illumination. Now as you see it, everything looks exactly right. We have softbox separating the background from the column. We have another softbox with a grid controlling and some barn doors just to accent the hair. And then, as we said, a small light into the flowers. And that's all important. But let's just see how important it truly is. Let me drop that set down for just a moment without those 3 lights in the background. And notice how dead it goes. It's just absolutely exists with no illumination. There's no depth, there's no dimension. Now we have a beautifully illuminated subject, but something's missing. So let's come in for just a moment and just separate the background. That one element really, really helps. But how about the hair? See, she seems to be still blending in with the background a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we'll illuminate the hair, creating a little bit more dimension. But our flowers are dying, so we're going to take that grid and pop that on, once again adding more dimension. We're taking the entire set. We're looking, just like in the window light studio, where we had the windows stacked earlier to create the natural illumination, we stacked our soft boxes. But if we do not take the time to illuminate the background, then we're not going to have the professional result that we're after. Let's look at it from the camera's point of view. Light, starting with the background. The subtle gradation of the softbox. When it comes to the hair, we want to bring out the texture, so we chose a honeycomb grid. Not only for control, but the quality of the light. Let us look at the kick light. Once again, going back to a small softbox, so it'll be much more subtle. The key light, the very vital key light, is going to put the dimension into her face. But the fill light is very important also to control the shadow. Now, as we look at this, it's just absolutely beautiful. But what about that kick light on that plant? Let's just bring it in and look at the absolute professional results of combining all 6 lights at one time. Hey, perfect pose, Melissa. Now, I'm just going to add a little bit more dimension. We're going to put a little window in the background. Very, very subtle. Just adding, once again, another dimension. But what if I want that to be a bit more dramatic? I'll just drop off the background, and you can see the possibilities are endless. Okay, let's grab that on film just a moment. Melissa, turn this way. Right to here. Perfect, perfect. Right to there. Good. One more. Stretch it right. Perfect.
We're back to where we started, the window light, the natural soft light source that's perfect for portrait photography. But it's not a window. It's the ultimate softbox, the Elinchrom Octa. Look at the size, look at the evenness of the illumination, and see how it wraps around the subject to give the best possible results. Let's look inside and see how it works. As you can see, the unit is positioned in the precise optical center of the box. A position calculated so that the distance from the flash tube to the front diffuser via the reflecting surface is always the same. That gives us a front surface that's always evenly illuminated. And because the system is so efficient, even a very small unit, like our compact 250, will give us enough light for portrait photography. You see, Elinchrom don't make softboxes for other people, so we have the luxury of being able to produce softboxes that work perfectly for our units. Let's see what this accessory will do in the hands of Joe Craig.
Good, good, good. Scott, pull this way a bit. Come on, come on, right there. Good. Okay, you can relax. You can relax, because I want to talk about this light for just a moment. And it made you look great, okay? And it makes everybody look great. If I could only have one lighting accessory, it would be the Elinchrom Octabox. Why? It is absolutely the in vogue fashion light. And I want my portraiture to look like fashion, okay? So here we got it. Why? Why is it so good? Perfectly even illuminated all the way across the surface. Very large light source, both height and width. Subject standing, seated on a stool, seated on the floor. Always good. Always good. Now, this is going to allow us to go back to the beginning and think about the windows. We had the subject in the center. We had a little kick light coming here, filled here. The only change we're going to make is we're going to add just a little bit of a reflector down here, catching the front edge, returning it to the eyes. But we're going to be able to create several effects by just moving them forward and backwards. Now let me move them back in just a bit. Can you come back in? We had great poses there. I want to pull you back in right there. I want you to pull on her a little closer. Good, good, good. Bring your eyes right back to the camera. Now I want to get a real close-up. Look at the illumination. Look at the illumination. And if we want to go with a little touch of soft focus, even better, even better. It's going to let us do a glamour close-up, a high fashion pose. We can light a family group with this. There's absolutely no other light that can do the things the Elinchrom Octa can. I'm going to turn the slide in this way just a bit. Now, if you think about it, we're changing the background. Look at the effect as we feather back for a mid key, maybe almost a high key, or all the way forward for a low key. We're taking the Octabox, the ultimate photographic accessory for the portrait photographer, and we are not only controlling dimension on the face, we're also controlling the background. Let's look at the same thing with just a single subject. Good, perfect, a little brighter smile, a little bit more, perfect. Look at that perfect illumination. Absolutely wonderful, only from the Octabox. Why? Because we can work so close. Remember, the closer we are, the softer the light. Most boxes we simply cannot work this close because we can't keep the illumination even. If we wanted to go to a 3/4 pose versus the close-up, we just wouldn't be able to do it. Think about it just a moment. Let's come in here and take a reading. We're 16.4. Well, how about the 3/4 length? Let's read down here. 16.4. Now, in a traditional softbox, if we illuminate this at any given amount, then we're going to have a lot of fall off. Now, think about that, 16.4, and we're using just a tiny amount of illumination, just less than 200 joules output. Wonderful. Doesn't take a lot of power because the light box is very, very efficient. It's going to allow us another, listen to this. This even gets better. We can pull her out. Wendy, can I pull you this way just a bit? Now, because this light bounces back and then the light travels back out here, think about how much better that's going to be. We're not shooting straight through like a parabolic where when we shifted this far we'd be a stop off. Look at this. Hit it again. 16.1. Just 3/10 of a stop. We've moved her out far enough now to do a full length. See, we never have to move that. It's going to give us the versatility. We can move all over the set. Just a little change of the light. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get expression in the subject. Get that emotion, that feel. How are we going to do that? We're going to use accessories that make our life easy. That's really what it's all about. Oh, I love to take the time to illuminate the set perfectly with all the soft boxes, but when I have to get in there and get the job done quick, Electron Octa, the #1 light. Perfect, Wendy. Eyes into the light. Just a bit more, right to there. A little bit more sparkle. Perfect. One more, right to there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. A little bright smile, little teeth. Good, good, good. Okay, let's talk about it just a moment. You can relax back. Freedom. Artistic, creative freedom. That's what we're getting. Simplicity. I'm the artist. I don't want to worry about a lot of things. I could light this with 4, 6, 8 lights. But can I do it with just one and a couple of reflectors? Certainly. Let's talk about it just a moment. We have the bike here, but why not go ahead and get a glamour close-up? We want to offer our client a lot of different poses. So we had the perfect close-up pose. We can come in here. We can do all sorts of poses here. But think of the large light source. Doesn't put little bitty specular highlights. Broad highlights on the bike. Makes it very, very pleasing. Now, once again, we can feather this light in and out. If we wish to, we can meter this. I can feather it back. We can go 1 stop less on the background, or I can bring it forward, drop off 4 stops. So I can go from virtually pitch black to mid-key just by feathering the light, never affecting their face. Another thing, Wendy, if I could step you up for just a moment. This is going to be really, really good. I've got to show them something here. Now, you're going to come right around here and lean on the back just a moment. Come right around this way. Let's go ahead and strike in a pose, and we're going to check the, oh, great, great, great. All right, good. Now, we're going to come in here and we're going to meet her. She's at 16.7. What do we got on the background? Right around here. Well, we missed that one. Here we go, right to there, 8.1. 2.6 stops down. Isn't that great? Now, Wendy, I want to, once again, I'm going to bring you right around to the front. We're 16.7. Now you say, Joe, you're moving way too close to the light. Let's look at it just a moment. Are we really? Now, we can be plus or minus a half a stop. Let's look at it just a moment. Lean way over here, lean way in. Good. Once again. Okay, I missed that one again. Right to there, 16.7. Now, Wendy, come out this way. Just straddle the bike from this side and lean way forward. All right? Come into there. Okay, turn the wheels a little bit more. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Perfect. Right into there. 22.0. Still only changing 3/10 of a stop. Now, Wendy, you can relax again. Think about all the freedom that we can have in this business. Wendy, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much.
So, Joe, we've seen a lot of the photographs taken in the studio. Can you give us a quick tour and show us how it all works?
I'd love to. And when you say, how does it all work? It works for Joe Craig. I want it fast and I want it efficient. The space is very small. I have a lot of lights. I have easy to work with cameras, have simple props. Everything works easy. In other words, our sets move very quickly. We have hard lights and soft lights. Could move props in. Talk about props. There's one right there, right with you. See, I can just lean you into there. It's part of the architecture of the building. But it's a quick prop. I can move the background over a bit. I've got a hair light that works for you there, works for the motorbike, works over even further. So it's just moving the key light in and out.
I notice in this smaller area of the studio, you've probably got more equipment than anywhere. Is that to make it a lot easier for you? Or?
It does make it easier because I take most of the poses right here. This is where I started out, and I have more lighting here because I have more backgrounds. I have 10 backgrounds in this area. I have spotlights. In fact, the one we have up here now is the same grid that we used earlier over on this set. Efficiency, moving around. Everything has to move quick. I want to concentrate on the client, not on the equipment, so I make it easy. Talking about easy, look at this. Large light source, very similar to the Octa, just happens to fit in the space a bit better, but if the child's on the floor here or if the fashion model's up here, almost no movement at all. But if I need to do corrective portraiture, I have a movable softbox, then I have another smaller softbox for an accent, a gridded light for your hair, and gel lights to do color on color, and also I can take the gel out of this grid light, illuminate the classical backgrounds. So I just have the old-fashioned look, all by using the same lights, just a bit differently. Let's talk about high key for a moment. Let me pull this up. High key seems to be a mystery to some people because they don't know how to ratio it, they don't know how to put the light across the background smooth. Well, because we're going to do people standing and seated on the floor, we want light, a long light. So we built our own here. We took 2 flash units, put it on this side, 2 flash units on here, built them into closets. Now we have even illumination across the entire background. You're about 6 feet forward, and at that distance, we need 1 stop more here than we need light on your face. Once again, making it easy. Person's got a large area they can move out here. So we're going to use a little bit of fill light. We're going to use some fill off the ceiling because you have glasses. Now, I would not necessarily use that system all the time, but we'll start with you. We have this unit overhead. I'm going to bounce it off the ceiling, reducing glare. I can also use it for here. But if you didn't have glasses, I would use this box. This is a much better designed fill light because it's long, it's soft, it's going to illuminate an entire group of people. A fill light, by definition, is non-directional and non-specular, thus this light. Just by the nature of its design is perfect. We also use it as a strip vertical for fashion or for a shot of a child on the floor. But in this case, we're using it as the perfect fill light. If I could have you to be seated right over here. This set's not exactly right for you, but it lets me set an example. Hair light, background separation light from the softbox, and a key light. We'll simply use the one from over here. Now we have a simple 4-light setup. It's very easy. You notice we went from the octabox here, we went to the hard light, we went all the way around the room. And we can do that with a client very fast.
You make it look very easy. Can we see some more of the pictures that were taken in the studio?
That'd be great.
we've seen the Elinchrom lighting system in the hands of a top portrait photographer. But whether you're a portrait photographer or a commercial photographer, you need the flexibility and the control of your lights. You may want soft lights, you may want hard lights, small, large, everything to enable you to put the light exactly where the subject demands for the best possible image. For portrait photographers and people who don't need lots of power, the small self-contained compacts, the 250, the 500, the 1000. In fact, we have a range of over 8 different self-contained compact units. For the pack user, we have the Elinchrom Classic, an industry standard throughout the world. And now the Elinchrom Micro AS, an asymmetrical power pack with the level of control necessary for today's digital photography. Elinchrom, a complete lighting system, not just flash. The brochure has full details of everything that's available. Talk to your dealer now, and together we'll make great pictures. It's really very simple. Without light, there would be no photography. In fact, the word photography means drawing with light. Outdoors, nature provides the perfect illumination, but in the studio, the photographer has command over the lights and the accessories to create the perfect results. As manufacturers of flash for more than 30 years, Elinchrom know a thing or two about lighting. And in this video, together with top American portrait photographer Joe Craig, we're going to look at the lights and the accessories that he uses to create the perfect pictures, both in his studio and on location. Unlike you or me, the camera only has one eye, right in the middle of its head, and so it can only see in 2 dimensions. Take a look at this black spot. It's simply that. But if we put light and shade, it changes from a black spot into a ball floating in air, because the light and shade is interpreted by the brain as shape and dimension. Flat lighting in the studio produces flat results, but 3-dimensional lighting is going to produce very 3-dimensional pictures. If your lighting is 3-dimensional, then your pictures will have depth and they'll look better. Throughout this video, we're going to be using just the smaller self-contained Elinchrom units, because you don't need a lot of power in portrait photography. The important thing is choosing the right accessories and, of course, having a good technique. We'll be shooting in the studio, we'll be shooting on location, and you can see what we can do with simple sets, complex sets, even bridal. So whatever photography you're doing, hopefully there'll be something here for you. And finally, we also want to talk about controlling the amount of light we use. Film doesn't see quite the same way as we do. It has a much more limited range. It can't see very bright and very dark at the same time. So when we're exposing our pictures, we must make sure that the contrast ratio, the difference between the bright parts and the dark parts, stays in control. If you use a small flash gun, the light source is very small, and so it's very hard. You get hard shadows and very bright highlights. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make our light sources softer by adding an umbrella. The umbrella is used on the unit to make the light source bigger. So instead of having hard light, we have soft lights. So let's go and see what you can do with just a couple of umbrellas in the studio.
2 lights, 2 umbrellas, a silver main, and a white fill. Note the placement of the light. The silver is in quite close and feathered forward to put depth and dimension into the subject's face. The fill, on the other hand, is quite close to the camera, so we can put a base of illumination to our entire subject. When we meet her, let's start first with the main. Note that we're going to block the fill with this hand. F8. Now we want the fill one stop less. When reading the fill, we'll block the main. 5.6. The last reading is both of the lights together. 8.5. Let's set the camera between 8 and 11. With her basic lighting set, let's talk about pose. With a woman, I usually find it better to turn their body away from the main light source. This will accentuate the figure. Notice placement of the head. Let's turn her face back around, cross the camera axis this way, and looking toward the main light. We're bringing the face around to the main light. We're going to narrow her face. She'll find that much more flattering. The fill light is illuminating the broad side. The main light is illuminating the narrow side of her face. Next, let's talk about eyes. We can either allow the eyes to follow the nose, they can cut slightly back to the camera, or they can come about 10 degrees toward the main light. Changing from the close-up to the three-quarter pose, let us feather the light back to separate her garment and her hair from the background. To give a little more elegance, let us separate her arms, accentuating her figure. Now we have a perfect three-quarter portrait. Same two lights, same accessories, different position, a totally different portrait. I'm using the silver umbrella as a main, but in this case, it's too far forward. Although it's very specular, the lighting on her face feels very flat. As I bring the light around to the side and feather it forward, notice the added contrast. The white umbrella will serve as our hair light. It is one stop less powerful than the main. How about a fill? Let's bring in a traditional reflector. Small silver reflector, let's bring it forward, catch the front edge of the main light, and return it into her face. As we recap, the main light, F8. The hair light, 5.6. The reflector comes in to balance. The camera, F8.
Two umbrellas, simple but very effective. For our next sequence, we're going to use a third head, and this will be fitted with a honeycomb. Here's a honeycomb. It's a series of small holes, and if I hold it straight to the camera, you can see that the light going forwards carries on going forwards. But if I turn it slightly, the light's blocked. So what this does, it takes the light from the center of our reflector and leaves us with a pool of light without it spreading too wide. It's very simple to fit on. You take the unit, you clip onto that the accessory holder, and then the honeycomb itself slides down the middle. We do 3 different sizes of honeycombs: the 32, which is the one we're using now, a 16, and an 8 degree of coverage. Let's now see how Jo uses that to take a picture of an executive in her office.
On location, very small room, a total new challenge. 10 feet by 10 feet. In fact, we're photographing through the doorway. A light-colored wall on this side, 2 umbrellas this side. A larger one for the fill, a smaller one for the key, and then an accent light for the hair. The accent light is a 32-degree honeycomb attached to a standard reflector. Let's think about the wall of light concept. The 2 umbrellas with a small space between them. In this case, we have a light wall running the full length of the room. If the wall was a darker color, we could simply put a reflector. But there will be enough return. The fill is basically going straight across, hitting the wall, returning. So is the key. What power output should we use? Well, let's start with the fill alone. F8. Now, we want a softer ratio in this room, so we're going to go a total of 1 stop difference, a 2-to-1 lighting ratio. We'll read both the fill and the key together, blocking only the hair. F11. We'll read the hair accent. F8. We will set the camera to f11.
The umbrellas make the light source larger and therefore softer. A softbox will do the same thing, but with more control. We produce two sizes of softbox, and both of them work in exactly the same way. The softbox fits directly on to the flash unit. Inside, there's a diffuser clipped in place, and this helps soften the light so that by the time it reaches the front surface, it's very, very even right across the whole of the face of the softbox. This gives us a light source that is not only very soft, it's also very controllable. Let's go into the studio now and see what you can do, again with just 3 lights, 2 with softboxes and 1 with an umbrella, in a modern, high-fashion portrait situation.
Soft light with more control. Let's think about softboxes and their use in this set. We have a smaller one here to provide texture in the background and a kick light on our subject. A larger one for a main light. Once again, control. Note how we're using it parallel to the subject. We are creating a window effect. And then a third soft light, the white umbrella, for a fill. Remember that an umbrella is the perfect fill because it's both non-directional and non-specular. With these 3 soft lights, we not only have a wall of light, we have control. Let's analyze each light individually, starting with the smaller softbox. It's our texture light, it's our kick light. It's in very close to the wall hanging. It's going to cause us a little problem. The distance here versus the distance here is too great. If we take a little study in the inverse square law, we'll realize that light falls off to the square of the distance. We are in here at f16.5. On the opposite side of the wall hanging, we're at f8.0, 2.5 stops difference from one side to the other. By simply moving this light back changes the relative distance. Now we're here versus here. I'm going to take it forward just a bit. I'm going to feather it in so we can also get a kick light. We're going to now hit right there, good. 80.5 and 56.5, one stop, just like our subject will be. We're averaging F8, 8.5, 56.5, F8. And why is that important? Because we're going to set our main light one stop brighter. If we have a light kicking from behind, we want it to be one stop less than the main light source. If we want to add just a little more depth here, we can keep it down one stop. So if we looked at an average room brightness and we had a subject here and it looked good and the background looked good and they were both, say, F11, then they would appear in the photograph exactly the way they seem in just broad room light. In this case, because we're going to put one stop more on the subject, this will drop back one stop darker, give us a little more depth. It'll separate from the subject a little bit better. So when we meter from here, we're going to pick up F8. We've got F8 here. So let's walk forward and let's check our main light source. We're going to be using a couple. So we are on this side where we're going to have one of the people. We're at 11.3, and here the other person is 80.9, and that's fine. We'll shoot at F11. Remember that the camera is set to the exposure of the main light. So we're going to be photographing at F11. F8 kick, F8 into the background. And finally, we'll set the output of the fill at 5.6. 2 stops difference between the fill light and the main light. Now, we said earlier that we wanted this to fall off just like the subject. However, it fell off a stop. But remember, with the wall of light, we're going to have to bring a reflector in. So we will bring the ratio up to 1 stop less. Fill is at 5.6, F11, the backlight is at F8, The reflector's going to balance. Now note that we're bringing the reflector forward. It's catching both the fill and the front edge of the main, returning them to the subject. Let's analyze each light as it falls on our models. First, we'll start with the smaller softbox, the texture light, the hair light, the kick light on the man. Next, we will add our fill to put a base of illumination. To get that third dimension, let's have our main light. The pose is great, close up and 3/4. Let's look at it a little bit different. Melissa, can you break loose just a bit there? I want you to come around on the other shoulder, right around there. Good. And Melissa, I'm going to have to bring you forward till you feel this main light in your face. And chin down just a little bit more. And snuggle up. Can you wrap in there a little bit more? That's perfect. I'm going to tip your head over to here, right into there. Good. Just come right in there, snuggle up close to him. Chin up, right into there. Now we can do one kind of a soft smile like that and a big bright one right into there. Great. So we've got two totally different poses. Just by changing the sides. We note that we did not have to change the lighting. We left it exactly the same. We posed in to the light. Melissa, what I want you to do is let go of him just a moment. Jeremy, I'm going to keep you in your seat. Melissa, if you can stand up just a moment, come around to this side. What I'm going to ask you to do is just lean on his shoulder. Just bring, there we go, good. And bring a hand up into here. Perfect. That's perfect. Now tip your head right there. Once again, we've got to bring that light into your eyes. Jeremy, I'm going to bring you into here. There's a perfect pose. Brother, sister, father, daughter, whatever. Jeremy, if I could get you to stand up just a moment and move both of the chairs to the side. Thank you. Melissa, I'm going to step you forward just a little bit. And note how I'm just going to walk her into the light. Back up just a little bit and walk in. See, I'm just watching the hair light. I'm watching the main light source. Very, very nice. Jeremy, if you'll come right into her. Melissa, you'll turn into him. Note that we are cross-lighting her. We are front-lighting him. And Melissa, I'll turn your head back over here. Now we're short lighting her. I'm going to bring your head a little bit closer in. Jeremy, tip in close to her. Melissa, cuddle into him just a little bit more. That's perfect. Right into there. We're doing really good. Now, when we go up a little bit closer, we're going to grab into, Jeremy, if you'll bring both hands around her, right around her waist, right into there. Now that's a nice pose. And then we're going to lean her back just a bit. Stay with her. A little higher fashion pose. Melissa, can you tip your head down? Okay, good. Right into there. Now, one bright smile. Here we go. Good. Okay, Melissa, relax just a bit. I'll tell you what I want you to do. Just to hide that arm a bit, why don't you go underneath his coat? Jeremy, I want you just to cuddle her a little more gentle this time, right to here. Melissa, I'm going to bring you around, chin down. Jeremy, I'm going to bring your head right in there, right to there. Perfect. Melissa, tip into him just a bit more and snuggle. Now, when we go for that high fashion pose, you can start leaning her back, lean back, lean back, lean back. Good. Right into here. Perfect. Now, Jeremy, I'm showing a little bit too much of your back, so I'm going to turn Melissa toward me. You just walk away. Loosen up just a little bit. Loosen up on her. Bring your hands a little bit closer into here, right into there. Good. Melissa, we still have to favor that light. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Jeremy, can you turn her around a little bit more? You're hanging with me. Note that wherever we turn that pose, it's still good because it's a great pose of them. What could you do? You could also change camera angles to pick up each and every look. Relax just a moment. Melissa, I want you to turn around back into him. Can you fold your arms right here? Good. Perfect. And can you pull her a little closer in there? Okay, now bring your hands up on her shoulders. We're going to do more like a brother-sister pose, a nice squeeze in there, right there. Good. Perfect. Melissa, I'm going to bring your head down. Can you kind of tip toward me a little bit? Melissa, right into there. Good. You're going to turn away from the light right there. Jeremy, match in. Once again, you can crop it where we are, or you can go in real tight. Melissa, I want you to kind of hold your pose. Jeremy, if you can go back to the wall. I'm going to direct you over. We're going to actually illuminate Jeremy with the back softbox. Can you kind of catch your hands in your pockets? Right into there. I'm going to move you this way just a little bit. Great. Right into there. We'll just use a nice split light on him. He's just the background. We're going to come up about 3/4 on Melissa. He's looking right at her. Never had to change a light. We're absolutely perfect. Jeremy, if you can bring your eyes right to here. Melissa, let that smile relax up just a bit. Even go to a bright smile right to there. Good. A simple 3-light setup. Soft light with control. A smaller softbox, a larger softbox, and a white umbrella. Very simple, but very high fashion. Good. Tina, stretch a little bit more, stretch it up, chin up just a little bit, right to there. Now if you could freeze it just a moment. Same 3 lights, different configuration. We took our larger softbox, put it down low for a fill. Smaller softbox up, coming in for a broad key light for the person in front. Changed out the white umbrella, standard reflector, 16-degree honeycomb grid, causing a shaft of light here, a perfect key light for her. Getting a high fashion look of 2 sisters, F11, F22. This one is at F22. Now, why do we need F22? We're going to have to draw a lot of depth of field because there's a lot of space in between them. I wanted the space to create the effect. So we've taken the same 3 lights, used them a different way to come up with a totally different effect. We went from a formal look to a high fashion. Now let's look at the effect of each light. Let's start first with the honeycomb grid. It's a key light. It's set at F22. The fill light is set at F11. And the broad source key is set at F22. The camera, F22.
It's amazing what can be done with just 3 lights. In our next sequence, we're still going to use only 3 lights. And remember, we're still only using the small self-contained units, nothing larger than an Elinchrom 500, a 500 watt-second flash unit. We're going to use the same 3 accessories that we've seen so far, the umbrellas, the honeycomb grids, and the softboxes. But we're going to take them out of the studio. We're going to go on location to our client's house, and we're going to see how the same 3 accessories can be used to create depth and dimension in our customer's home, producing an attractive portrait.
In the client's home, I want to create a very natural effect. There's nothing prettier than a portrait made by a window. But how about the control that we can have with the flash? Let's think about the difference. The window is large and it is soft. We have a very soft light source. However, we're a good distance from the wall. We'll have more of a 2-dimensional portrait with a background that's going to go very dark. We can create the same effect of the window with the large softbox. Using the internal diffuser with the external diffuser, we're creating a large, very soft light source, just exactly like the window, except we will have more control. We can feather it forward, we can feather it back. So we're going to have exactly the same quality of light on the face. To add a 3rd dimension, we're going to take another soft light source, the translucent umbrella. We're going to shoot the light through the umbrella. We're going to create roundness on the model's shoulder. We're also going to illuminate the background. Another advantage to the translucent umbrella is we're going to actually get 2 lights in one. The light bouncing back against the light walls in the room is going to add a base of illumination to the entire scene. For added depth and dimension, we'll use the honeycomb grid to accent the hair and to add a little more detail in the flowers. Before we bring in our model, let's take a final check on the output of each flash. We're going to set the softbox at F16. Why F16? We're going to get a little more depth in the set. Next, I'm going to check the wall. We're at 8.5. Stop and a half difference. So we're going to get a richness in the wall, a little deeper tone. However, if we were using the window alone or the softbox alone, that would drop down 4 stops. It'd be virtually black. It's the translucent umbrella that's helping us out. How much light's hitting the shoulder? F11, 1 stop less. But remember the angle that we're going to strike the hair. It's going to bring out the detail. It will appear as bright as the key light. Anytime that we bring a light this way, from the center back, we want to put it 1 stop less. A final check on our grid, F11, and we'll set the camera at F16. Judy, if I could bring you in, please. And I'll ask you to be seated right over here on the edge. There's an obvious advantage to having everything preset. Judy's fresh, she's busy, she doesn't have a lot of time. Yes, we can come in and make little adjustments to the grid to fit her hair or the accent light on her shoulders, or we can even feather the main light source. But remember that we want to complete this part of the sitting in 3 to 5 minutes. We want to do some close-ups, some 3/4. We can even have her standing for some standing 3/4. Other than just the grid being changed just slightly, the other two lights will stay exactly the same. Lighting is simple, keep the posing simple. But let's remember a few basics. We want to cross-light the woman. Judy, if I can turn you this way just a bit more, just turn your body toward me a bit, right to there, perfect. You can just kind of keep that pose, and we'll turn your face back across, all right there, just that side of the camera. Now we've got a nice feminine flowing pose. We can photograph this close-up or 3/4 length. If we want to add a bit more movement, all I have to do is drop her this way, right here, and we'll always want to watch our props and make sure that we have those in the correct position. Or we can scoot Judy toward me a bit. We can scoot you over, Judy, a little bit more, right into here. Once again, let me turn you away from this light. Drop on your left hand right into there, put a bit more weight out there, and turn over. Or how about taking your elbow up behind you here on the piano, right into there, perfect, or bring your hands together like this. Okay, now we'll just take your whole body down, twist together, and bring this hand over. Just bring your hands together a bit. Okay, right into there, perfect. And looking off here. And then with just slight camera movements, side to side, we're going to be able to change the background. We'll get a lot of variety in about 3 to 5 minutes. Adding the lights one at a time, starting with the honeycomb grid. A little accent on the flowers, depth and dimension, and highlights in the hair. Adding the kick light, the translucent umbrella, is going to add a third dimension, roundness to her shoulder, additional hair light, and detail into the wall. The main light, completing our portrait. The room is light and airy enough that the light going through the translucent umbrella, bouncing around the pastel room, in addition to the bounce from the main light, gives us our fill. Once again, grid, F11. Translucent umbrella kick, F11. Main light, F16. Camera, F16.
We've seen what can be done with just 3 light sources, both in the studio and on location. We're now going to take our lighting a little bit further, but we're not going to add more lights. We're going to use fewer lights. In fact, we're going to use just one, but we're going to use it with the right accessory, the Elinchrom Octa. That's the big box you see behind me. The Elinchrom Octa is a unique light source. The head fits in the precise optical center. The reflection cloth scatters the light so that by the time it reaches the front diffuser, it's completely even. In fact, if you were to run a flash meter over the surface of this box, you'll find it's within 0.2 of a stop anywhere on the surface. And because the head fits inside, it's not a big box to use on location. It's very tall, so it means it's great for full-length work, but it's no deeper than an ordinary softbox with a head on the back. So we can take it on location and we can use it in the studio. Let's see how we can use the Octa to light a bride in her gown in the studio.
Of all the lights that I've ever used, my very favorite is the Elinchrom Octa. Why? Versatility. It's very soft, non-directional, yet controllable. It's like using a very large window. I could bring my client forward, bring them back. The illumination is virtually the same. Head to toe, I can bring a bride in, can illuminate head to toe with just a slight fall off. I can feather it back, illuminating the background, or bring it way forward to drop the background almost low key. Because I'm using only one flash unit, I can take it anywhere. The light quality on location, the same as in the studio. In fact, I can take it in a home and light a family group. It's so very versatile. Let's bring Brandy in just a moment and let's see the effect on a bride. We'll bring her in. I like to keep on a single subject about this close. If I'm going to do a full length, I'll bring her out just about to here. But let's leave her here for just a moment. Bring her arms behind her, feather forward just slightly. Now, we have a small portion of the box behind her and a larger portion forward. So we're going to have basically a main light, a bit of a fill, and a kick light coming in here. All we'll need is just to bring in a reflector and kick the light back on this side. How about feathering? We can bring it forward, deepen in the background, around, to make the background almost pastel. Let's check with the flash meter. We are 11.5. 11.4. 11.3. Virtually flat, head to toe. It's going to give us the advantage of being able to take a full length, a 3/4, and a close-up. Let's look at a few other poses. Brandy, can I relax you just a moment? Good. Now, I want to keep you turned away from the light because I want that cross light. Brandy, bring your hands in this way, but open your elbows out just a bit. Turn here, a little bit more, chin down just a bit, and bring your eyes right up to here, right down, right through at the bead. Perfect. Right here. Let's hold that just a moment. Relax that one out just a moment, Brandy. Thank you. Now, I want you to turn your back to me just a moment. A little bit more, and bring your hands in behind, and you're going to look over your left shoulder. Going to turn a bit more, almost a profile, a little bit more, turn right to there. Now let's freeze that just a moment. Perfect. Once again, relax. I don't want you to fold your arms. Just fold your arms in front. Now I'm going to pivot you just ever so slightly, just a little bit at a time. Bring your head toward me, where we're just going over the edge of your back, right into here. Now, nice bright smile, right to there. Perfect. Good. Brandy, relax back just a moment. I want to bring this in just a bit. I'm going to set you up for a beautiful full length. I'm going to bring you right into here, just perfect. Now, Brandy, I'd like for you to lead with your right foot and bring this hand right into there. Perfect, perfect. Now, put a little bit more move in there. Let's bring this left hand out just, not quite that much, right into there. Turn your head over, bring your eyes up right into there. That's just perfect. A little brighter smile. Great. Now, Brandy, that's going to be wonderful. We're going to be able to do that full length and a 3/4 and a close-up. Okay, let's see a couple more real quick. Brandy, let me relax you back. I'm going to slide this over right into there. Can you be seated right here? Great. That's a wonderful gown. Once again, we're going to turn you away from the light just a bit. Can you roll your right leg over your left? Right into there. Stretch toward me a bit this way. Good. Right into here. And bring your other arm out to here. That's grand. Turn a little bit more. Chin down. Eyes right into the camera. Hey, Brandy, why don't we just do one this way? Kick your feet right up in here. Curl your feet back this way. Roll to here. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Right to there. Stretch it up. Turn over here. Give us a big smile. Right to there. Perfect. Okay, Brandy, let me relax you just a moment. Bring your elbow up here. Make it a little easier. Thank you very much. The Electron Octa. It is absolutely the perfect light, both in studio and on location.
A larger set, but still using our 3 basic light sources. We've added 3 extra light sources to give depth and dimension, and we've created a large space within which our model is free to roam and explore the posing possibilities, and our photographer can work closely with her to create the perfect picture.
Kiko, great. Can you stand up just a moment? Come right up by the column. Come right to the column, stand up. Very good, very good. Now, just move in there. Wonderful, wonderful, perfect. Good. Let's try one back at the screen just a moment. Maybe into the background also. Maybe into the background. Good. Oh, wow. Right there. Good, good, good. Stop right there. Good. Maybe up into the tapestry a bit. Maybe into the tapestry. There we go. Good. Right to me. Chin down. Right there. Good. Into the camera. Can you just sit back down just a moment? I want you to really stretch forward. Really stretch forward. Lean in there. Okay, good. Eyes right down into there. Perfect. Tip your head out just a bit. Right there. Starting with the hair light and then adding in our mane, we have a very beautiful basic portrait. But we lack the 3rd dimension. By adding the larger softbox, we create texture in the background as well as separation of her garment and her arms. Look how simple 3 lights can be. In our case, we added in the fill to put sparkle in her eyes and a little texture in the front of the box. For a bit more added dimension, we put a kick light into her hair, and one additional light into the screen and into the background. Akiko, thank you very much. What a great set. Styrofoam column, the little fabric, the screen, muslin, and the old trunk. How much simpler could it be? The Octabox as a main, a smaller softbox kicking into my eyes for a little bit of fill, a larger softbox to add separation, a light coming through the screen, a kick light, and a hair light. It made our life very simple. We could just move all the way around the set. Let's remember, we could do it just as easily with 3 lights. The Octabox, the soft light, and the hair light. A simple reflector. It doesn't have to be hard. It's really quite simple.
One of the accessories that we used in the last sequence is the square 44 reflector. You see it up there at the top. It's a softbox with a honeycomb, and it combines the qualities of the two. It gives us softness with direction. Let's see how it's used in this next sequence as we go on location to shoot a family portrait.
Beautiful family, beautiful home. Let's select a perfect light for this situation. Starting with the main light, I've selected the Elechrome Octa. It's very large, very soft, yet directional. I think it's appropriate for this home. It's a warm feeling, stone, fireplace, lamps. I think harsh front lighting just wouldn't work. So we want the light to come across soft from the side. The Octabox is ideal for a family group because you can work in very close, feather it slightly, bring an even illumination across the entire set. We could use reflectors, but in a situation where we're going to have children, I think a fill light's a bit better. So we're going to use a large softbox for a fill. We'll bring it from this side, a total of 2 stops difference. We're going to set the fill at f8, the total at f16. We're going to set the camera at f16. We'll have perfect illumination on the family, regardless of where we put them on this set. But the room is quite expansive. If we do not illuminate, it's going to be very dark and 2-dimensional. Regardless how perfect we do it up here, we've got to think through the entire room. Let's see how to do that. We're going to use a large honeycomb grid for a hair light, for a separation light, for a kick light. Now, why did I say all 3? The woman's going to sit here. It's going to be her hair light. The children, forward, backwards, depending on how we pose them, will give separation for their dark clothing. An accent light, strength for the man, a little kick light, if you will. So we're going to start getting a 3rd dimension. Depth and dimensions, very, very important. If we make this home look very flat, it just will not be appropriate for this family. A lot more space. We have to illuminate it. So we've taken a small honeycomb on a standard reflector. We've aimed it up into the rocks. We get a double benefit, texture to the stone plus control. The honeycomb grid is allowing us to put more light right here. We have light all the way up, but we have a feeling there's more light here. Feels like the lamp is illuminating the stone. We've moved the furniture forward. Why? If we put it back here, where it was when we came into the room, the family portrait will crop right into here. Why not show the expanse of the home? Pull the furniture forward. But remember, all the lights have to be in the appropriate place. With her family in place, I think you can get the general feel. We have this accent light into Lisa's hair. It's a kick light for Matt. It's a separation light for our little one here. We've got broad illumination over the entire room. The accent lights giving us texture, depth, and dimension behind. Let's talk about bringing the family together. How would we do that? What we want to remember is, let's make a portrait that's like a real family. Not make it so stiff, but let them interact with each other. Yes, we're going to have to shoot a little bit more film, but we're going to catch that heart and soul. Now, let's see if I can tie them together just a little bit. Okay, let's lean in here just a little bit more. Chin up just a bit. Notice the accent light, the kick light, everything's just perfect. You're right up to here. Hey, looking right at the camera. Yeah, hug on Daddy. That's great. Looking right in here. Let me capture that just a moment. Hey, look in here. Hey, shh. Good. Hold it. Hold it. right here. Good, 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 good. Oh, that's perfect. Now let's have a little happier. Come on, come on. Let's love together. Let's love together. Let's love it together. Really good. All right. Okay, good. Thank you very much. In review, the large honeycomb grid, F11. The texture on the stone, F11. The fill, F8. The overall illumination, F16. The camera, F16.
For our final sequence, we're going to look at a style of lighting that is still very popular. High key, where we have a white, clean background and fresh, brightly lit subjects. It's great on young people or families or children, in fact, in every possible portrait situation. The key to successful high-key portraiture is to get the exposure right and to get the light balance right. Let's look at Joe's technique, which will produce consistent results, and also let's see some of his ideas for posing young people today.
High key. Difficult for some, yet very simple if we follow a few basic rules. Let me talk about my set. Remember that I'm in the production business. I may be photographing a baby on the white floor, the next person may be a headshot for a simple business release, a couple, a group of 10. So I want to set the lighting very consistent. I want to illuminate the entire set. I want to concentrate on my client, not on the lighting. Where do I start? The Electron Octa. It's very controllable, yet very even as a main light source. Then I put a bit of fill in from a larger softbox. A couple of wide-angle reflectors on small flash units to illuminate the background, and a hair light. Next, let's look at the exposure, starting with the fill light. I'm going to set the fill light alone at F11. The fill in combination with the main, F16. I'll set the camera at F16. To assure a pure white background without flare, I'm going to set the background at F22. The fill light and the main are burning in conjunction with the two background lights. I'm going to check the entire scene. We want the background to be anywhere from 22.3 down to 16.7, plus 7/10 to plus 1.3 stops. And finally, the hair light, also F16. This gives us our simplest setup for high key. What else can we do? We can illuminate a broader area if we come in with the white umbrellas, making the light source even broader. If you have a very large set, you may stack one umbrella over the other, using a total of 4. Let's say if the set was 20 feet wide. That would be an ideal situation. Our studio is quite small. We're getting a lot of production done. This works for us. So let's see some poses that we do right here. That's just great. Can I get you to relax just a moment? That's perfect. And I'm going to pose with you for just a moment because I'm going to make some points that are very, very valid. Whether we're posing father, daughter, brother, sister, bride, groom. Always work couples together. Let me bring you out this way just a bit. Right into here. Now, we're almost doing a dancing pose. At a formal event, a bride, a groom, whatever. This could be her bouquet, but people are in here together. Now note that you're going to take the man behind. You're going to trim me up a bit, bring me in behind her, and then I'm going to lean forward and lean in. I'm going to come away from my near shoulder and into her. I'm going to let her tip away from me, but we're going to bring our heads together. Look how that feels. That way, and we're going to pose from head to toe. My foot's leading out, her foot's leading out. So we can do a full length, 3/4, or close-up pose. We can bring our hands down to here. You can bring your hand onto your hip here, and I'm into this way. But remember, when you're posing, always pose people together. Even if they're just holding hands, make them come in together. Bring her hands around this way. Or, let me turn you back to me. Good. Right around this way. Here we go. Perfect. In like this. Okay, good. Now, Steph, I want to go through some poses of you by yourself. We'll start back where we were. We're going to flow from there. And we're talking about flow posing. We're going to go from this pose. Well, next time we'll bring her hands up, like to there, and maybe Cross your foot over easy, like to that. Good. Now just turn you back to the camera. You're going to flow over your left shoulder, right into there. Perfect, perfect. Relax just a moment. I'm going to bring this column in. We can be in here, just a real traditional pose with her feet crossed. She can bring her hands in or lace her fingers together like this. Or, for a little high fashion look, bring your hand back out once again. Let her work in here. But always let this hand come out soft and easy. We don't want her to fist up, so just right into there like that. Or, can you bring that hand up this way? Just bring your left right into there. Good. And then here you've got a nice little close-up pose. Just roll your camera in. The simplicity of the way we light will allow us just to flow in, out, round, move our camera angles. Up again, just a moment. I'm going to show one of my favorite poses with this little column. I want you to lean forward just a little bit, right into the, oh, that's perfect. Let your fingers relax over, right into there. See, it's very sophisticated, chin down, straight into the camera, a little bit in control there. You like to be in control? Yeah, I think. Okay, now bring your hand up, right into there. Perfect. Now this is wonderful. We got this nice 3/4. Can I relax this arm just a bit, right into there? We're going to take this hand to here. Perfect. Now, we're going to do a nice 3/4 into here and a wonderful close-up with a big, bright smile. That's just perfect. Let me relax you back, move this column out of the way. Great job. I'm going to bring you out just a moment. Shelley, please. A little more casual, but yet real sporty. What are we going to do? Well, I would start off, once again, posing full-length poses, although I may only photograph 3/4 or close-up. It's very important to pose the feet. If I come in and stand her ankles close together like this, I can come up with a wonderful pose, but she can never have a natural expression because people don't stand around like this. So what I want you to do first is relax your feet. Shake it off there. Just make yourself feel comfortable, all right? Are you an arm folder by chance? You ever fold your arms? Let's fold them up just a bit. Okay, good. Right to there, good. I'm going to turn you this way. We're going to cross-light her fabric. We're going to come across this way, right into there. Perfect. Now, I'm going to turn your head toward the camera a bit. Okay, good. A little bit more. A little brighter smile. Okay, right to there. Now, it's a perfect 3/4 pose right here. Relax just a moment. Okay, good. Perfect. Now, I'm going to ask you to sit on the stool. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the stool to here. You're going to watch me just a second. You're going to sit on the edge and let your hand flow forward, all right? So you can just do that more, yeah, make it feel like you, but just kind of that basic way, right to there. Good, good. Now let me bring your hand back to here, right into there. That's perfect. Stretch up tall. All right, good. A little tuck of the collar here. Okay, good. Right into there. Leaning back around. All right, perfect. Once again, there's our perfect head and shoulder. Why does the head and shoulder look so good? Because she's posed all the way to the floor. So in this case, we can catch her close up, our 3/4, and her full length. Relax just a moment and stand up. Thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you to sit down. You're going to bring your feet this way from the camera. You're going to sit right behind me. Okay, you're going to go ahead and sit down just a moment. Okay, good. That's perfect. That's perfect. Good. Now, I want you to, yes, push out on your right hand just a bit more. Wonderful. Now, turn your head toward the camera. Good. I'm going to pull this foot forward just a little bit, right into there. Move this column back. Stretch tall and lean out. Tip your head to your right shoulder a bit and look it right back into the camera. That's just great. Now I'm going to get my 3/4 pose, so I want you to bring your hands a little closer together, right into there. Good. And just push forward just a bit. Right into there. Now pull your hands in just slightly. Right to there. Tip your head over, chin down, looking right into the camera. That's just perfect. Just perfect. Now, I want you to turn around and put your feet the other way. Can you do that for me? That's, oh, grand. Right to there. Good. Pull your right leg over your left just a bit. That's wonderful. Now, we just have exactly the opposite. We can capture that, but what I want to do in this case is drop her down on her left elbow, right into there, and kind of pull your hands together. Great. Now, tip over here. Once again, we can go out full-length horizontal. We can come up a vertical, elbow to elbow, from floor to just above her head, and we can come in and do a close-up. It's just perfect. Shelley, if you can hold that for just a moment, I want to talk to you about where we might put the other person. If it's a brother, her husband, whatever, we might tie him in right into here. Or he may slide down, put his coat around, and come in here real low like this. But just tie people together. It's the same pose as we were doing earlier, standing up. Now I'm going to set you up straight just a moment because I'm going to bring your real boyfriend in. Come right over here just a moment. Jeremy, and I'll ask you to drop down in front of her, stretching all the way out on your elbow. Can you do that for me? I'm going to step across this way. And note, we're doing all these poses in a very confined spot. Okay, Jeremy, I'm going to scoot you this way. Scoot across a bit more. Go, 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 go. Right to there. Lean all the way down. Shelley, wrap around him. Come over his shoulders, right into there, lock together. Good. Come around him a bit more, right to there. Good. Now both of you tying a bit more right into there, looking right into the camera. Perfect. Shelley, I'll break you loose just a moment. I'm going to step you out. Jeremy, hold that pose, please. Okay, because I want to go through a sequence with you. Right into there. Thanks. Once again, use every pose you already have made up. You have a perfect horizontal, elbow to elbow. We have a great vertical in right here. What else could we do? Jeremy, I'm going to bring you up this time just on the flat of your arm, just like that. Perfect. Going to go through a sequence. Drop on the flat of your elbow like here. Good. Pull your hands together. That's perfect. Now, there's another pose. Once again, close up, 3/4, full length. Jeremy, let's come on up high on your elbow. Right to there. Good. Perfect. You're standing there. You're doing it exactly right. Jeremy, that's just perfect. Now, just lean onto your hand right into there. Once again, a great horizontal hand out to his feet, full length, or we got a great close-up. Relax. You're up. You're out, in fact. Good. Thanks. Thank you. Right on in here. Look at this. All right, perfect. Nice and sporty, but let's remember, let's don't turn white fabric into the light. Let's always turn it away. You'll find it brings out the detail in the fabric. It'll accentuate her figure. Everything's working better here. Just be kind of in control. You like to do that? Okay, good. To turn your head around this way, I want to bring your body back toward me just a bit, right into there. Now, once again, where would her friend go or boyfriend would go? Right into here, right in this way, or perhaps around on this side, right around here. See, once she's posed right, you can just bring the other person in. So you're building it one part at a time, and then you're pushing the elements together. See, she's right into this way. We're here. We're up close, wherever we want to go. Very, very good. Can I get you to relax just a moment? I'll bring a chair in. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but I want you to straddle that. Put one leg on each side. Very good. Now push your right foot forward a bit. Push your right foot forward. Take your right hand down on your leg and lean forward. Right into there. Perfect. Now we're right into there. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Boy, that makes a great, wonderful. Right to there, right, looking right into the camera. Perfect. In this case, the 3/4 will be a bit better if we tie this hand back into here. So we're going to tie in right into there, chin down just a little brighter smile. Relax your smile just a bit. This time I want you to lean over. Lean forward a bit more. Perfect, perfect. We can even tighten you in right into there. Wow, what a great pose. I'm going to lean you over this way. Excellent, excellent. Look at that close-up pose right in there. Up you go. One more pose, if I may. You just stand here. We're going to kind of put your hand over on your hip. Once again, we have to turn you away from this light. So just turn in here and drop out. Perfect. Perfect. Just turn your head right back around, right into there. Turn toward the light. Turn your head toward the light a bit more. Chin down. Bright smile right there. Okay, perfect. Relax. Thank you. Let me step you out for just a moment. What would we do with two brothers? We'll bring a couple of guys in here and think of brother poses. People have it a little easier for some reason putting two women together than two men. But whether this is brothers or best friends, it's going to be just great. They're contemporary young people of the 90s. Catch your hands in your pockets just a minute. Scoot in a little bit closer, right into there. Now just catch them with their attitude, just about like that. You can't do much. Look there, boom, just like that. All right, good. Once again, you can photograph them here, here, and up close. Relax up. Jonathan, catch in right to here. Very good. Now, turn this way a bit more. Now, David, you're going to kick your foot right into here. Let's see, let's start you right to there and kick in and lean into your brother just a bit. All right, good. Right into there. Jonathan, let's bring you forward just a bit more right into there. Good. All right, guys, we're going to lean in. Now, this pose is going to look a little awkward, but we're going to come in here. We're doing that close-up. Now, they feel strange, but you think when it's close-up, this will look very nice. Jonathan, I'm going to tip your head right into there. All right, good. Perfect. Now, you'll find it, gentlemen, if I could hold you just a moment there, you'll find doing brothers together like that, they're very uncomfortable. And it seems like they're awfully close, but as you note, in the close-up, it looks really good. It's probably best for a smile. The parents will really, really like that. But we can do a couple of casual poses of them at the same time. What we'll do is we'll start off. One of you can choose to sit down right in about here. Right there. Now, we're going to assume for just a moment that you're the younger brother. We're going to scoot you over just a bit more. I can't tell you look about the same age. Drop down on your left elbow, right into there. And Jonathan, you're going to come up exactly in behind him, same pose, only you're going to be up this tall. Can you do that? All right, good. Come right up this way, right to there. Perfect. You're going to scoot over just a little bit more. Jonathan, please. Right into there. Good. Now, David, if I could, let me scoot you over a bit more. Keep going over it, and I'm going to bring you all the way down. Bring you all the way down. All right, great. Jonathan, come right up this way. More. Again, just drop on your elbow. Come forward. You're going to tie them in close together. If you're going to do a 3/4, you can go elbow to elbow. It's very simple, similar to what we did with the couple, except with brothers, we may put a little bit more space in. Or for the close-up, Jonathan, I'm going to bring you over, and you're going to be looking right into here, right about to there. Good. Let's build a group. Starting with Jonathan, you're going to slide over. That's good. Kelly, can you come in here? Remember, we want to bring the faces close together. So I'm going to bring you, can you hug up in him? Right into there. Good. Wrap up a little closer to him. All right, Jonathan, right in close to Kelly. Perfect. Kelly, I'm going to bring you over a little bit. David, you're sliding over. Slide over. Good. Kelly, bring your head right down, right in there. Jonathan, right into there. See, now you're making a nice family of 3 here, best friends, whatever. We're another sister in here. Right over to this way. You're going to slide right in here and hug right over the top. Good. Right into there. Great. You can just hug up a little tighter to him. All right, good. Right into there. Good. Another brother, please. The big brother coming on in here. Good. You're going to come right in here, like right over the top. If you will show the people where to go, that'll be easier. We're going to have to compress the distance, so come on over real good. All right, Steph, come on in here. Good. You're going to lay right down here in front. David, I'm going to bring your knees back a bit. Slide your feet right under the light. We're doing great. Shelley, come on in. We want to get the whole family down. You're down. Back up. Good. Right into there. You're going to have to get really close to David. Okay, good. Slide on back. Slide right into here. Good. Lean forward. Come on. Kneel right there and crash into these 2 guys. Kneel right in. Just kick somebody out of the way. Come on. Here we go. Good. Lean in. Come back. Everybody together. Looking right in the camera. Big smiles. That's great. What a fun group. We're going to step you out, and I'm going to go back to some formals. We've done casuals, we've done individuals, we've done couples, we've done brothers. But let's go back and look at a few more classical poses. Kim, if I could bring you in for just a moment. What could be more classical? White and black. There's nothing finer than high key. The simplicity of the octabox, a fill, a couple accent lights, separation lights, and we're up and running. If you can bring your arms behind you just a bit. Now remember, I'm going to go through this a little slower this time. See, we can photograph her back. We can turn her around this way. Once again, she's posed. She's going to lead with her right foot. This may, full length, 3/4, close up. Where does the man go? He just slides in, comes around here. It could be father, daughter, bride, groom, whatever. Now let's look at a couple of more classical poses here. If I could, Kim, I'm going to drop this elbow here. Good. I'm going to slide this around right into there. Good. You're going to lean out to there. Turn here just a bit more. All right. Can you be just a little bit happier there? There we go. Thank you. Now, looking right into the camera. I'm going to cross here and right to there. Perfect. A little brighter smile. Thank you, Kim. Great job. What a wonderful profession. Beautiful people, beautiful photographs, shooting the hearts and souls of our clients. Take your Elinchrom lights, get out, get excited about photography.
So many lighting ideas and so many great poses. It's clear that Joe Craig understands portrait photography and Elinchrom understands studio lighting. Whatever photography you're doing, there's an Elinchrom lighting system that'll work for you. whether it's going to be based around the self-contained compact units, or whether you need more power, a studio power pack like our classic packs, or the digital control of our micro AS pack with individual head control in steps of 1/10 of an f-stop. Or maybe the new Combi 3000, or most exciting of all, our new digital controlled micro 750 compact. Whatever you need, the accessories will work with you. Every accessory fits every head, so you can create the system that will make the lights do exactly what you want to do. As a photographer, you have to be in charge, and with Elinchrom, you remain in charge. If you want to know more information, get a copy of our new leaflet, or talk to your local dealer and discover how Elinchrom is going to make your photography even better.